It's our second day in Hanoi, and today we are gonna do a little bit of history and a lot about food.
We're starting the day off hitting up a popular prison. Well, popular and infamous. Prison's called Hoa Lo. It was built in like 1894, 96, I think, so it's pretty old. I don't know too much, but one thing that I can tell you is it was very poorly designed. It's known for having a few hundred prisoners, if not more, escape. I think mainly through like sewer grates or something like that. It was a prison for political prisoners and for prisoners during the American/Vietnam War, most famous John McCain. We're gonna go in, check it out ourselves, learn a little bit more about it, and take a walk in history.
30,000 dong to get in. You can also purchase a guidebook for about 20,000 dong.
Just walking through this prison is crazy. It's kind of like a clash of the times. We have this really modern building as we walk through an older section of the prison. Now, just for you to know, 75% of the building was actually torn down or demolished, and they did rebuild a little bit of it to kind of mimic how it was back in the day, but clearly it doesn't do it any justice. I mean, conditions were critical back then.
There's several rooms that have these 3D models where you can see the original footprint of the prison. And to me it's interesting because it was originally designed to only house 500 prisoners, but at its maximum capacity there were sometimes over 2,000 people here, which is
like a lot of prisons in the US and across the world.
Yeah. It was pretty grim circumstances. I mean, there's illustrations of all the different types of torture and beatings that went on here, and I would not want to be a resident.
All right, Jen, I'll see you later. See you when we get to Thailand. Excuse me, 80% of the building was demolished, if not more. That figure is probably higher than that. This place used to be nicknamed the Hanoi Hilton by the American soldiers, and that's because they would get mistreated, very not similar to an experience at a Hilton. So a lot of the pictures you see here are the soldiers having fun, playing volleyball, eating well. It's all propaganda.
There's a lot of different rooms here. You can see the cells where prisoners were on death row. There's a guillotine, which is not anyone's preferred method to go out.
So it's also John McCain's flight suit, which is pretty cool. He was actually shot down on Lake Truc Bac, which I believe is only about 3 kilometers away from here. Anyway, a lot of propaganda, a lot of memorabilia, and a lot of artifacts. Worth coming to pay a visit when you're here in Hanoi. Now, on a lighter note, we're pretty hungry, so Jen, tell the people, break them off of what we're about to do and where we're about to go.
We are about to go to one of the best banh mi places in all of Vietnam, arguably. We've had some pretty good ones in other cities, so...
Too many to count, and this is by far the best one. We'll show you exactly where it is. Banh mi 25 is split across the street. You order on one side, you sit down in the cafe on the other side to eat and pay.
Or you could just get takeaway from the spot on the other side of the street. Each banh mi ranges anywhere from 20,000 up to 30,000, depending on what you get, if you get any extras.
And they have all kinds of varieties. They even have stuff for vegetarians too. I don't know if this is the best banh mi in Hanoi anymore. It might have lost its appeal. Maybe it's the quantity of herbs to meat that they've changed. I'm not really sure, but I gotta be real with you guys. What I can tell you, the good thing that I do like about this is that the bread is fresh. It comes in freshly baked. It's hot, it's crunchy on the outside, nice and spongy on the inside. I do appreciate the quality of meats that they serve here, and it's some of the better pate that we've had. But I don't want to rank this place as #1. So if you guys know of a better spot in Hanoi, be sure to drop it in the comments and let other people know, of course. Still a good banh mi, still a good one. But maybe a 8 or 9 out of a 10 instead of a 10 out of 10 like when we were here last year. We're headed right now now to the Ho Chi Minh Memorial, but we're passing by this really cool section of the city that has these interesting murals set up. They're basically to commemorate 25 years of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Korea.
The main purpose of it is to create a community and a cultural center for both residents and visitors.
This one in particular is super interesting. It's covered in designer brands. If you look at the little kids' pants, they're Louis Vuitton. If you look at the straps, it's Gucci. If you look at their shirts, it's almost like a Burberry material. And the sign that one of them is holding is a Versace Medusa head.
The way the art is designed, it's kind of an optical illusion, and it looks like it's part of real life. So if you actually stand in front of the painting, it looks like you're in the painting.
When you're in Hanoi, be prepared to walk. Everything is pretty far spread out. It takes time to get from one place to another.
I would budget about 20 to 45 minutes between each spot that you go to, depending on how fast you walk. On a map, it actually doesn't look that far apart, but
it is spread out. So a little piece of advice, rent a motorbike or a bicycle if you can manage the traffic. That'll cut down your commute time. And if not, bring comfortable shoes, lots of water, and probably sunscreen. You'll need it. All right, so we are in officially. These are the grounds where Ho Chi Minh is buried. That is his memorial right over there.
You have the open grounds, people are exercising, and there's obviously the monument and several other buildings around that just kind of gives it that nation's capital type feel, which is fitting.
So inside that building is where Ho Chi Minh's body is. Now, interesting story, he actually did not want to be embalmed and preserved, if you will. He wanted to be cremated and spread throughout the north, central, and south part of Vietnam.
But the government decided to keep him there
forever.
And that's where he'll be. But even if you don't go in to see Ho Chi Minh himself, you should still come and check out the mausoleum from the outside.
You can't get too close to the building, so you can't pass this little yellow line right there. I don't know if you can see it. These grounds are probably just as popular as the lake that's in the center of the city.
Let's put it this way, you'd be really missing out if you didn't come here on your visit to Hanoi.
Put it on your list and maybe go inside. The night is dark, but it is not over yet. We still have food and more food to cover. The name of it's Pho Gia Truan, and it's extremely popular, so you can always expect there to be a line. Now, one thing I do want to tell you is make sure you check the times before you go, because this place is only open for a few hours in the morning and a few hours in the evening.
Even if the line is long, definitely wait and stand in it. They have this place down to a science, and they create these amazing pho bowls, almost in an assembly line, and they just bang them out.
No introductions. You guys already know pho, you know what the deal is, but this one is super meaty. You can tell by the sheen and the oil on the top. They use a fatty cut of beef. I'm assuming that it's brisket or something. The cool thing is they have this hanging on these hooks right near the stand, so they'll pull them off, chop them up pretty thick, a little bit more thick than the other bowl that we had, Phan Thiet or Phan Thiet. And the other difference that I'm getting in this one is you can taste almost like a citrusy element from lemongrass. Similar to Phan Thiet, this place only does one thing, and of course you know how the story goes, they do it extremely well. So if you come here, you're only going to get pho and the little Chinese oil sticks. I'd recommend getting both. Each bowl is 50,000, but they do have some 45,000 and 40,000 dong options of soup. I don't know what the difference is. I think it's just a cut of meat that goes inside of it. Figure out how to say egg and try to get an egg added in your pho too, if you're doing yourself a favor. When you're in the city, definitely put this on your list. If you get a little bit more adventurous and you're branching out of Old Quarter, stop at Phan Thiet. Both are our favorite options. Oh, you thought we were done? Not yet. We still have one more food item to show you, and then we have to show you how to get out of Hanoi.
We're at a place called Banh Gia Truan, and they have a few things on their menu, but they really specialize in one dish, rice pancakes.
These banh are the best in the city, or at least this is our favorite spot. The place is clean, the food is banging, and service is great. You can actually observe the ladies out front making it, but if you blink, you might miss a step in the process. They're extremely fast. The dish is as simple as it is complex. It starts off with a rice batter, which is essentially just meal down rice mixed with water. It's almost like a rice noodle omelet, if you will. It's got that gelatinous consistency, and then they wrap it with your choice of fillings. They have shrimp, they have chicken, but the most common one is the pork, and the pork's mixed with mushroom. After that, it gets folded, and then it gets topped with a little bit of crispy onion and cilantro and served at your table with a side of fish sauce that has citrus in it. How do I know it has citrus in it? Because there's little lemon seeds that are in the fish sauce. Now to eat it, it's very simple. It's similar to sushi. So you take a piece, you dip it in the fish sauce, and you eat it. You can also enhance it a little bit by adding pepper. What I like to do personally, and maybe this is frowned on, but it works for me, it might work for you, is I put cilantro and the chilies into my fish sauce and kind of smash it and muddle it up with a spoon. It makes my fish sauce a lot more fragrant each time that I dip it in it. So, tricks of the trade, secrets with Hafa. Now, if you don't know, now you know.
So our stomachs are full and our time in Hanoi is coming to an end. So we're on our way to the airport and we're gonna show you a few different ways of getting there. You could take a Grab, which is similar to Uber, but that's going to run you roughly 250,000 to 300,000 dong each way. So if you're traveling in a group of people, this might make more sense, but if you're traveling alone or even in pairs, there's some other options.
If you're coming by yourself, the bus is also a great alternative. There's two primarily that run directly into the Old Quarter. There's the 17 and the 90. The 17 drops you off at Long Bien, the 90 drops you off at a station called Kim Ma. The cost is 9,000 dong per person. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half depending on traffic. There's also other options for shuttle buses. So I think VietJet runs one, and that one's a little bit more expensive at 20,000 dong. We have the luxury of time, we planned it out, so we're riding the bus right now for 9,000 per person. So your last resort should be getting a cab. Typical metered cab fares will run you about 400,000 dong, but if you're lucky, you can negotiate with the cab driver for even lower. So your best bet is to pop a Grab or take the bus like we did. Anyway, we hope you enjoy your time in Hanoi. We're running a little bit late for our flight, so we'll catch you in Thailand. I'm here with Dora the Explorer, exploring the streets of Hanoi, Vietnam. Dora, how do you feel about exploring a prison today?
Yeah.
Dora sips tea. All right, you've been released for good behavior, Jen. Like 2 peas in a pod. You're never gonna use that.
We might.
No.